and I ended up living on a fucking porch up until 7 or 8 months ago.
And here we are.
That's why I never went on vacation.
So my biggest, for the viewers out there, my biggest gripe with Josh is that he hasn't traveled as much as he should have.
Yep.
Or he should.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to take a couple more vacations this year and really
Actually go on vacation?
go on vacation.
You're right.
So I think that's a goal that I want to task you with this year. So in the next 365, that's the international symbol for
a circle?
Yeah, the 360.
That would be a circle that you just drew. I mean, it's a little ovalish, but that's a circle.
It was a perfect circle. What are you talking?
See, here's the thing about like me and traveling. I have always wanted to travel. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to see things. I've always, when I watch a movie and I see something really cool, I'm like, yo, I want to go there. But, you know, growing up, didn't have a lot of money, you know, that whole story and such. Growing up, didn't have a lot of money, and then seeing the difficulties that my parents went through and like everything that like took place, and like seeing, you know, the hardships and some of the stuff that like helped to damage the relationship and such, and you know, seeing people struggle and seeing people not have enough and constant lack. Like I was always like I had a good childhood for the most part, like my younger years, but there was always a lack, and let me explain to you what I mean by lack, because the fact that my father wasn't around as much as like it would have been super nice to have him around, caused there to be some form of a lack, because he was out there getting it, right? So he was working 80, 100-hour weeks and such, and like, did he still spend time with me? Yes. Did we go for bicycle rides? Did we, you know, build stuff together? Did we do Boy Scouts? Yeah, we did do things. I did have a good childhood, but there was always this like lingering kind of like pressure. You know, some way, shape, oh, we can't afford that, or oh, that's too expensive, you know, that kinds of stuff. And then as time went on and there were other factors that came into play, there was a lot that kind of just kept ingraining in me, like there's not enough money, there's not enough whatever, don't spend your money on this, save your money, you know, and it just became such a powerful driving force in my life that instead of traveling, instead of having like a blast and having some experiences and memories that other people have my age, I went to work, right? I went to work and I started trying like to just blow it out. I had 4 jobs at one time. Like I would work from morning till night, weekends, holidays, like it didn't matter. And of course I'm not going on vacation during this time because I'm hustling. But what was I making? Minimum wage, because I was young at the time. But it was in me to work like that. And then from there, you know, there's a lot of factors that led to it and such, but I ended up kicked out of my house. And now I have nowhere to go, right? And I only have, you know, a few $1,000s saved up and stuff. I have nowhere to go, so now I'm crashing on my buddy's couch. And then I built a business from my buddy's couch into being able to sustain me while I was living in an apartment complex out of the garage. Okay, now I've got that. I got that, my girl, at least at the time I was dating somebody. And I'm like, okay, but again, lack. There was always lack. We didn't have enough. The business wasn't supporting enough. We couldn't go anywhere. So I kept building that, and then I took over a building, right? Eventually, this all led to me taking over a 3-story building and building a business through it that was so duct-taped and bubblegum put together that there was no money. It was always, there was never enough fucking money.
Right. Once you get to that next step, you're spending more and you're doing more.
Especially if you're stupid and you finally have a few bucks in your pocket and you buy a car and try to turn it into a drag racing car, but you know, who does that? And you know, drop like
this guy.
Definitely didn't drop 19 grand just turning. I call this car Satan's car. Okay, this car was the worst money pit piece of shit Camaro that I have ever had. There's a roll cage in it.
Is it that one? Right out there?
No. I had that one at the same time as that car. But this other car, roll cage, nitrous kit, sway bars, freaking drag radial tires, T56 or something like that, Tremec transmission, racing seats. Like, it didn't even have a horn. The whole thing was gutted. Like, there was so much they put in there. I'm looking at motors to put in, and I run out of money. Of course I run out of money. Why? Because lack.
Yeah,
right?
Because you're just dumping.
Yeah.
Right, which was
Terry's really good at that too. So basically the point is that I did that all throughout my 20s, and then the business fucking failed. It went down. I lost everything. I almost got evicted from the place. I would have gotten evicted if I stayed another 2 days. I got evicted from the place that I'm living. The business itself went down. I got backstabbed by people of who I truly had trusted in said business. And I ended up living on a fucking porch up until 7 or 8 months ago.
And here we are.
That's why I never went on vacation. And that, the thing is, that sounds like a crazy story and stuff, but that's actually my life.
Don't put me on your level. I am not like you, I'm not gonna cut a body bag. Got a right tag, I'll be right back. Rip off that mask, slip on that glass.